Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, Kieran Marchant.
Hi everyone. Is this the cut we're using? We're not using that first intro you did. We're using the second one.
Shut up. And also here, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here. But how is Greninja the Pokemon of the year?
That is the question. And if I thought anyone here could answer that, I would have made it a topic for the show.
I mean, I guess he was kind of cool in Detective Pikachu, but other than, like...
How was he even kind of cool? He was evil.
Yeah, that's cool. They were mind-controlled, right?
Ash was like, yeah, they were evil. I love evil. That's my favorite... That's my favorite type of people.
Spoilers, but they were mind-controlled in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like half the Pokemon. That's fine.
Yeah, so
Pikachu was mind-controlled. Spoilers. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, did we just spoil Detective? You should have watched it by now. Come on. What it's been out on Blu-ray for like months. But yeah, well, I mean, it was Pokemon week, and if I thought anyone here had great stuff to say about Pokemon week,
what do you have to say about Pokemon week?
That it's a bit silly to put Mewtwo into a raid and Pokemon Sword and Shield, not let you catch it. That's what I have to say about Pokemon.
What?
They've added Mewtwo because the film came out on Netflix, right? I haven't watched it yet, by the way. I'm going to watch it.
They remastered it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. I think that's like the thing.
Like
yeah, okay. Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's called Mewtwo Strikes Back. That's I think, but the tagline for the remake thing was Evolution. So because of that came out, and then it's Pokemon Celebration, blah 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 blah. So they in max raids in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they put in Mewtwo, and also the 3 Kanto starters. But you can catch those. But Mewtwo, they're like, nah, it's A, impossible to beat for people, and then B, you can't catch it. You only get rewards for beating it. I'm like, that's silly. Let people catch fucking Mewtwo.
Is it impossible for a reason? Like, is it actually impossible, or is it...
No, like, it's just super hard. People
it's
are struggling to be able to beat it. But even after going through all the struggle of doing the raid, you can't catch it anyway. So it's like the only Pokemon you can't... You do the raid, but you don't get a chance to catch it, which I'm like,
Mewtwo's a free soul, man. You can't contain that. It's about Mewtwo earning its freedom.
I mean, there's only one Mewtwo, so it doesn't make sense that everybody can catch Mewtwo.
Exactly.
Try and tell that to all the people who, in Pokemon Go currently, they've got armored Mewtwo's back in the raids, which is different from the old thing.
That's different.
And it's just Mewtwo with fucking a chainmail on, and everyone's like, yeah, I've got about 50 in my fucking...
Well, he's got chainmail armor on. He's come for battle. You know, he's ready for battle. He's not just normal Mewtwo. He's just trying to...
He's going to the Ren Fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Pokemon Go is like the best Pokemon game because you can open up your thing and people are like, yeah, I've got like 26 Groudons. It's fine. There's only one. Or,
you know, Dylan, was it you that I saw flexing about how many Rhydons you caught or whatever that was? No, somebody, I can't remember who I saw.
Everyone always flexes.
They're like flexing about
and every community day I'm at work and I have to like quickly try and find like a quiet period to be like, please at least one shiny, just fucking give it to me, and then I can go home.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, not go home, but not worry about it, I guess. Anyway, so that's Pokemon stuff. Well, I got one Pokemon story in a second anyway. Today on the show, banning FIFA Pro peoples, Kojima's getting an award, and we're going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. Boy, as I wrote here.
Why did you write boy? Like,
I
don't. Why did you? Because you said it in the lead up, and I was like, man, that's just a meme. And then you said it again there, so I was like, wait, did he write that into the document? And I just look over the document, and it's BO and a bunch of eyes.
That's how you wrote boy, like
boy,
not like boy,
not boy. You gotta make sure.
Like I think BOYYYY is like boy. You know, it's got that wee. That's the difference. Anyway, let's get into news. There's a bunch of stories, none of which are super exciting, but the things that happened this week. So, firstly, the guy who created the Konami code has passed away at 61. Kazuhisa Hashimoto? I feel really strong about my pronunciation of the last name. However, I don't feel particularly safe with my first name. Anyway, Konami code, in case anyone doesn't know, because they're fucking like 5, Kotaku writes, that Konami wrote. Got a quote here. We're saddened to hear about the passing of Kazushi Hashimoto. I'm so sorry. A deeply talented producer who first introduced the world to Konami Code. Konami said in a statement, our thoughts are with Hashimoto's sons, family, and friends at the time. Hashimoto created the code up, up, down, down, left, right, BA as an employee of Konami back in 1980s when he was creating the Nintendo Entertainment System of the arcade game Gradius. I hadn't played that much, and obviously couldn't beat it myself, so I put in the Konami code, Hashimoto told sent an interview in 2003. Because I was the one who was going to be using it, I made sure it was easy to remember. And now, of course, years later, Konami Code is, I would say it's a thing that most people know, even though they don't know why it exists and what it is. And then also, like, of course, you have that YouTube channel you watch. What the fuck's that, guys?
Up, up, down, down.
Up, up, down.
Yeah, like that's basically, that's, you know, even he may not even know what that comes from.
No, he knows.
Xavier Woods Xavier Woods / Austin Creed does freaking leave.
I don't know.
He even put out like a post like commemorating his death. You know?
I don't know. I don't follow him. I don't think I do.
Disrespectful.
I feel like everyone knows what like Konami Code is a thing, but no one knows like what it. Like it's like a meme game thing, you know, like up, up, down, down, you know. But I feel like most people wouldn't know its origins. Anyway.
As in, most people wouldn't know what its original use was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just like it's like a funny game thing. Anyway.
Who even knows what Gradius is?
You don't know what Gradius is?
It's like one of those spaceship games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's probably like 90% of the games that were made for the console at the time. Anyway, so that's out here, but thought it worth talking about quickly because Konami Code is a big thing. Moving on, Kotaku writes, unless you got you shook your head like do you have words?
I was just
do you want to do you have words? Do you have a eulogy? Do you have eulogy? Do you have a eulogy, Kieran? Why you're shaking your head?
Don't do this to me.
You don't want to be put on the spot. Don't shake your fucking head at me. You think I won't see because I look from the monitor you're on to the different monitor and start reading the next news story. But I got peripheral vision like a fucking parrot over here.
Look, I just want to say while we got this moment, you're doing a fucking stellar job of hosting today. Like, it is fucking top notch.
I think I'm at my wit's end for the recording. What do you reckon, Ash?
Yeah, you're doing a pretty solid job.
Thank you. That's what I thought also. Anyway. Anyway, the next story I thought was one worth shouting out as well, although there's not much really to discuss. It was just a cool thing that went around Twitter last week. So Kotaku writes, 7-year-old wins a Pokemon championship, makes everyone a fan. Meet Simone Lim. She's the new Pokemon Oceania International Juniors Championship champion. That was a mouthful. She's faced off in Melbourne against the older and formidable Justin Miranda Radbird. He's defending champ with a long list of achievements, including 21-time regional champ. Lim seemed to come out of nowhere to claim her crown. This was her first year competing. She ranked top 4 in the Malaysia regions and in a Singapore special event, which would be impressive enough for most players, but Lim is not most players. After winning the first match, she lost the second one, but came back for an impressive finish. The match shows just how open and accessible esports can be, and the process, no doubt, has made a whole bunch of new fans for her. So, if anyone watched the clip, I think it went rounds because it's officially, if we're going to start like grabbing a short list for end of year potential like hashtag cutie moments of the year, I'm officially nominating this one as like the first to be on that short list because I feel like we don't have any other competition at the moment, but it's great to watch. I also love the commentation because basically what happens is, for people who don't understand why people are like, oh, that was such a good move that she did. It's because they have there's a 2v2 Pokemon match, right? So if anyone doesn't know how Pokemon works for some reason, you lock in your moves at the same time, right? But then it like then like everyone moves kind of at the same time, but then like if your speed's higher, then you're like first and whatever else. But you select your moves first. That's the thing. So she's like, I'm going to cast Protect on this Pokemon. The other person thought she would cast Protect on a different Pokemon. So I guess they attacked it. Anyway, outplayed, outmaneuvered, fucking esports pro. But then my favorite thing to watch, because I watched the clip a couple times, is that you see the dude, like the other young, the guy player, the reigning champ,
21 time
20
reigning champ.
He's got so many numbers for like being like what 9 years old, whatever he is. But I just love like he's in the top. He's in the top left-hand screen of the video, and you can tell he looks like super serious. And when that Protect goes off, he's like, oh my god, what is happening? And then when they cut to her after she wins, she's just like, hey.
It's been...
And then they go to an interview with her after where they're like, is there anything you'd like to say? And she's just holding her Eevee and she's like, no. Anyway, that's your hashtag
it's just
moment nominee.
Her parents have really spent the time educating her in the way of Pokemon. She hasn't started school yet for the year because she's been training. She's been training hard to be the very best like no one ever was.
And it proved out well,
It's good to see they're extending the life of an esports player by starting them much younger.
Much younger. Much.
Yeah. Means she can retire in 8 years, not...
Yeah.
Fucking dogs.
She's too old to continue playing Pokemon. You can have those fast reactions for Pokemon games, I hear. That's the one. Talking about esports and stuff, let's move on to the next story. This one's quite funny because I've read about this dude last year, and when this happened, I was like, good, you seem like a dick. So IGN writes, FIFA Pro Kurt permanently banned from all EA games and services following latest attack. EA FIFA Pro player Kurt 0411, French, has been banned from playing all EA games or accessing EA services, the company announced. The unprecedented move comes after a month-long public feud between French and EA, which the company says crosses a line of decency into very personal attacks and breaches of our terms of service. Fennec. I wrote French, but that's fine. I just read it wrong. Anyways, Fennec, everyone. Fennec tweeted out about his ban by publishing the email EA sent him notifying the permanent closure of his account. In a follow-up tweet, Fennec wrote, "End of the day, I have never said anything I shouldn't have. This is just deeper than anyone thinks. They didn't want me competing at events because they were scared I'd win them. Now I'm the second biggest streamer of their game, and they're scared I'll overtake the golden boy." Fennec has been an outspoken critic of EA for the past 2 years, escalating in a series of social media attacks on the company, antagonizing EA employees. During one live stream, Fennec was caught on camera yelling, calling an opponent a son of a bitch who can't beat me, even on this piece of shit game. Fuck you, EA. He also spat on an EA logo stitched onto a scarf. He responded to these repeated attacks by permanently banning Fennec from all FIFA esports competitions in 2019 and beyond, which I think is when I would have read about last year. Following Fennec's ban, several EA FIFA staff Twitter accounts were hacked as part of a targeted attack, according to EA. The hacks were also part of a larger social media attack on EA staff members over criticism of FIFA 20. Fennec seemingly supported those attacks in his social media account. Fennec has continued to attack EA on various social media channels and video platforms like YouTube and Twitch. One particular attack on EA by Fennec is to call the company rats, which was well known enough for another FIFA streamer to utilize in a diss track against EA called Little Rats EA diss track featuring Kurt 0411. Despite the ban and repeated warnings from EA, Kurt has seemingly continued to take jabs at the company, which has resulted in the permanent ban from EA games and services. You can read EA's full statement below, in which they said, I love this whole thing. This story is great. In November 2019, after a series of code of conduct violations as part of EA Sports FIFA Global Series, in which he threatened to employees and other players, Kurt 0411 was banned for competing and attending EA Sports FIFA 20 Global Series events or future competitions. Since that time, Kurt has continued to post abusive and threatening messages and videos about EA employees and competitive players on social media and has encouraged others to do the same. His messages have crossed the line of decency into very personal attacks and breach of our terms of service. Will not tolerate threatening behavior. As a result, today, Kurt 0411, EA's account will be banned from playing our games and accessing our servers due to those serious and repeated violations. We build games and communities for players to have fun, creating a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone without fear of harassment or abuse is a vital part of that. Our terms of service include a code of conduct that we ask players to abide by to keeping communities health and safe. We have an ongoing focus to create communities where everyone feels safe and respected, including in-game toxicity, reporting tools, as well as new moderation tools, and we'll continue to add more features. So yeah, I love this story. It's also, it's just weird. You never see it. Like someone, like EA would take a dollar from a poor person, I feel. That they're that money hungry, but they're actually straight up banning someone. Like, you can't do anything. Not only can you not compete competitively in our stuff anymore, you are banned from accessing our games. I don't know how they'll keep that up. I guess if he creates fake accounts, then they just have to wait for him to, I'm sure, make YouTube videos saying how he got around it by making a fake account. Then I'll ban that one, I guess. You know, like, I guess it's a continuing thing or whatever else, but yeah, never ever seen something for it. How do we feel about it? Should they be allowed to do that? Should EA be allowed to permanently ban
I think
someone?
EA should definitely be able to do that. It's your, you know, it's their right as a company to prevent you from purchasing and using their services if you're going to be harassing and doing, you know, things that are counterproductive or against their company. And it's not even like it was just one small thing. It's like just been like, it's just a build up and a progression, and it just got to the point where it's like, well, if you hate EA that much, don't come back. Just leave it and just go. Like, don't play any of our games. Don't contact us. Just go. You know, it's better for them. You would think on it, it's better for him because he doesn't have to worry about EA anymore. It's
I don't know. Is it better for him? I think he was making most of his income off being a shit person towards EA.
Oh, he's 100% going to continue though. Like, I looked on his Twitter, just opened it now, for example, and it's like February 25th. He's got fucking Keemstar. In case you don't know who Keemstar is, he's the YouTube version of drama guy. Like, he's like TMZ for YouTube, basically. You know, is how I like to think of it. He's like tweeted, just got off the phone with Kurt 0411 FIFA. The man EA wants to disappear. Documentary deal done. Like, so he's already like shaking hands of all the right people to continue the drama and continue being able to make videos off it and whatever else. He's like he's retweeting this video of another FIFA pro who apparently recently at some cup said that he was in an interview and he says no one enjoys playing the game anymore, blah blah blah. He's like, what are you gonna do, ban this guy too, fuck you, all this sort of stuff. So like there's a bit of a difference between saying the game is shit and repeated abusive attacks. His whole thing is, which I don't get, is that like he's like, I don't like what you're doing with the game, so I'm going to attack the game consistently. And it's not just like I sit at home and play it on my weekends. I don't like what you're doing. He's like competitively, I don't like what you're doing with the game. But it'd be like, I don't know. It'd be like if any other like Overwatch, League,
they all
whatever,
do it. They
like,
all can be very vocal and constructive about what don't they like about the game. Like, what is the problem with the game right now? And developers use and listen to that as long as it's constructive. Yeah, I was about that. The amount of League streamers I used to watch back in the day who would be like, who were pros, and then on their personal streams would be like, man, fucking patch whatever shit. Like, I don't know why they changed this. This fucking sucks. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like none of those people ever got banned because they're just like, they're talking about the game and they're criticizing the game. The second you start like attacking employees and stuff, you're like, you've crossed the line of where you can kind of defend yourself, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's like real sports. They're always talking about how they can improve the game or what's wrong in the game. But, you know, as soon as you start attacking referees, that's when you start getting fined. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I guess, well, I mean, I find it funny that this dude goes fucking crazy over this. I'm like, yeah, of course a fucking soccer/football fan would be fucking. Yeah, it's kind of, when you were reading out, I was like, yeah, it sounds like a football fan. Like I didn't realize he was French though. No, yeah, French Stefanik. Yeah, totally. Yeah, got him. Anyway, so have fun with life, I guess. So this week they dropped more details about Resident Evil 3. So PS Blog has this whole post about it, but they also post this like sort of
video and combination of jiffies or giffies, however you want to say it. One thing I want to say straight away, because I mean, obviously, as I said, I think I played this with friend when I was young, but honestly could not remember much of it. Like I remember Nemesis as a thing, but other than that, I couldn't tell you much. Not enough to be like, oh yeah, like this has changed, like blah blah blah, like oh that's that era. No fucking way. But what I will say is, I don't know if I could play this game because it looks too scary. I'm struggling with fucking what's his face over here in the top hat,
Mr. X.
Mr. X already. Mr. X is already enough for my life. Now they're like, you know what? That's easy mode. Nemesis runs.
Well, that's the thing.
Jumps. Get out of here.
He has a rocket launcher. He's like way scarier. He says stars in a really low gravelly voice for some reason that you're like, why is he saying the name of a company of soldiers, whatever? But he's a scary person, man, thing, creature.
Yeah, I don't like it. I feel like I would get the first. I'm gonna get to him, and then I'm gonna be like, all right.
I'm just looking forward to I'm looking forward to Ashley's review on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really in depth.
Gonna be jumping into
the installation process was very smooth.
I got to the start menu and then it turned off really easily.
I'm gonna run down some of these because they've basically got dot points on the Facebook post. Aside from the gifs of Nemesis being a crazy person that I hate.
Coming out of the wall like Kool-Aid Man.
Fucking yeah. Jill has a new evade R1 plus left stick that lets you dodge lunging zombies. So that's really cool. It makes the game seems way more action heavy and less like 2 was obviously an upgrade, but it still had that sort of not that you had to stop to shoot, but it still felt like kind of rigid.
And you kind of had to do like this, like the way the characters moved. It was like a really janky, like speed walk to like kind of walk around things. Like it's like when you were walking through a crowd of people in your normal life, where you're kind of like ducking and dodging everywhere, and just kind of. But at least now there's actually a dodge move that'll be nice. There's a bit of a different change.
Yeah, it makes sense because I guess she's supposed to be a badass. The seasoned Super Cop can now perform perfect dodge by precisely pressing X while an enemy's clutches successfully score a slow motion counter window to open fire. So this seems way more kind of action heavy, obviously. Jill's knife doesn't degrade like the blades of RE2 Remake. Sounds great. Similar to RE2 Remake and RE7, ammo crafting is key to survival in RE3. Jill, a known master of unlocking, can eventually pick numerous yellow padlocks scattered around the environment. I presume they're going to add areas because of that and whatever else. I don't know. Nemesis is bigger, stronger, and more persistent than ever. The brutish bioweapon packs a heavy punch and snares Jill with a tentacle grab and can cut off her escape routes with a flying leap. Your experience fleeing from RE2's tyrant, aka Mr. X, isn't enough. When in doubt, run from Nemesis, especially when fighting in confined spaces or around other enemies. I'm going to fight him. Get the fucked. If you must fight, do it on your own terms. Lure Nemesis near electrical boxes or explosive barrels to deal damage while saving ammo. Get fucked. I'm just running. Similar to RE2 Remake, there are numerous weapon mods to find. The Hunter Gamma lurks within the bowels of Raccoon City. See, this thing, disgusting. Like, obviously, I don't know how I would describe this for audio listeners who haven't seen what this thing looks like. It looks like a giant, fucked up pig monster thing. Hate
it's like a meatball grew legs. Like a type of meatball with like
it looks
tail.
like a mutated Murloc.
Oh yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah.
Or like somebody kind of like cut off like part of like a dinosaur and just gave like the remaining part of the body a mouth and a couple eyes. And...
It's fucked up. I don't like it.
No, it looks like someone poured a pot of boiling hot water over a Murloc, and then that's what it looks like.
I can go with that. I like this part. A little overwhelmed. Activate assist mode for regenerating health, weaker enemies, more ammo, and powerful assault rifles. Similar to 1999's original easy mode. So, I will use that if I get too scared to play the game. Is the good thing. The preview concluded with a boss battle against a flamethrower wielding Nemesis. The monster swept fire across the construction site battleground, dashed Dylan, blasted flaming mortars everywhere in an epic confrontation. I don't know if so. all this gameplay is from like a recent sort of thing that some people got to see, obviously. Now, they're releasing a demo publicly soon, and I'm wondering if it'll just be this or it'll be something slightly different. I'm hoping it'll be something slightly different because it's like, why give us a week or 2 weeks or whatever to read all these articles about a demo and then release the demo? It's like, I've read about it. I don't know, like,
it's for the people that can't read.
Seeing is believing.
Exactly. It's getting your hands on with it, feeling it. You could be told 1,000 things, but you don't know. Like, what's the difference between if somebody wrote an article about PT, but then would you then still be like, oh, why are you releasing this if there's all these articles? Where PT is an experience that is amazing to be played through itself.
I guess. I'm just hoping it's a different demo for personal reasons. I think so. It's slightly different if I download it and give it a go. PlayStation Lifestyle.net writes, Platinum Games unveils Project GG, helmed by Hideki Kamiya. First details on the second of Platinum Games' 4 surprises have emerged. That's right. We're only at 2 or 4. It feels like they're going to drag out these fucking announcements till June.
Wait, if there's 4 announcements and they're surprises, where's Bayonetta?
Shut up. So, courtesy of the latest Famitsu magazine issue titled Project GG, this particular Platinum adventure will launch across all platforms at an as-yet undisclosed time. Hideki Kamiya, the director of Bayonetta and Wonderful 101, is leading the charge on Platinum's new IP. Shut the fuck up. The studio intends to self-publish Project GD despite its new investment partner, the Chinese conglomerate Tencent, offering to do so. Platinum Games' decision on this front seems to be a desire to wholly own and control the IP, as developers have previously noted. He told Famitsu that Project GD is emblematic of Platinum challenging what the company hasn't challenged before. Seemingly, the director could not divulge much about his next creative venture, and he did at least offer a hint as to what Platinum Games can come to expect, telling the magazine that if Beautiful Joel is like a Cayman ride... well, I don't even understand what this means. If Beautiful Joe is like a Cayman rider transformation, and if Wonderful 101 is a squadron, Project GG is like a huge hero. So, I guess it's... Beautiful Joe is... You're running around. I don't know what a Cayman rider is. That like a
Kamen Rider? It's like
Kamen Rider,
like Power Rangers.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Quick Google says okay. Yeah. Okay. Which is what he looks like. Yes, that is what Beautiful Joe, I guess, looks like. And Wonderful One is a squadron. I don't know what that means because Wonderful 101 isn't like.
So that's also Power Rangers, but it's like a single like person superhero. And then
like several superpower people. So
yeah,
this is the one where they do the Power Rangers. So this new game, Project GG, is going to be the part of Power Rangers where they all transform into
Megazord,
the giant
like the Megazord, and like
yeah.
the guitar comes out the whole time, and they join together, and then
so it's a mech game.
Possibly, yeah. You could easily
like, is that not what we just boil all these fucking comments down to? I mean, I'm intrigued because obviously I like Platinum Games stuff, but also without anyone saying shit, I'd just like to have a moment to say, where the fuck is Bayonetta 3?
Oh, you want Bayonetta 3? You probably should mention that. Maybe if there was some kind of buzz or desire from the community for Bayonetta 3, Bluepoint would stop bringing out other projects and announcing other projects and just get that game out.
Yeah,
I did say Bluepoint. I meant Platinum. I don't know why. I was thinking of their next project being Bluey the Bluepoint pen. But
listen, Bayonetta 3 was announced at the Game Awards in 2017.
That's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago. So it's pretty clear that Bayonetta 3 is going to be next year.
You think if they announced it in 2017, in 2020 we'd either have more information about it or it'd be reasonably done or somewhere near completion, right, Ash?
You know how
No. They're going down the Square Enix road, with like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15. You announce it like way before you even start it, and then you like build anticipation for 10, 20 years.
So that's what you're saying is Platinum Games were like, guys, we want to have our own IPs. We want to be a proper, well-desired developer. Let's sit down. We're going to look through gaming history, take some notes. And they're like, fucking Square Enix has got it down pat. What we need is a game that we announce and then we forever just not talk about and delay. Let's go. Bayonetta 3.
I was going to say, I think Platinum Games makes games like how I read books.
They start and then put it down and start something.
A new one? Yes.
You're like, oh, this shiny thing. Let's work on this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best analogy I can go.
And then you get back to the original book you were reading and you start reading and you're like, I have no fucking clue where I'm at. I'm going to need to restart. And you start from the start again.
And that's 2 years later. Yeah.
Yep.
That's generally how things go. Gamasutra writes, Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima to receive BAFTA Fellowship Award. Hideo Kojima will be honoured with the prestigious BAFTA Fellowship Award at the British Academy Games Awards in April. The Lifetime Achievement Award is the highest honour the Academy can bestow and recognise as an outstanding and exceptional contribution to film, games or television. Kojima is best known as the influential auteur behind the Metal Gear series and more recently Death Stranding, which was the debut release of his newly formed independent studio, Kojima Productions. He said, thank you very much for this precious BAFTA Fellowship Award. I'm very honored and would like to take this moment to reflect on my many predecessors that came before me, as I deeply respect their contributions to entertainment, whether in movies, television, or games. I would also like to thank those that have supported me over the years, and I will continue my commitment to creating new and innovative ways that will push the world of play entertainment forward. Previous receipts of the recipients, of the awards include Tim Schafer, John Cormack, Gabe Newell, Peter Molyneux, and Shigeru Miyamoto. So he's well within good. Or
are they able to like just from that list? Are they able to like retroactively remove Peter Molyneux? Like we'll take that back for a second. It's just jump the gun a little bit on that one.
I don't know. Fables. People love the Fables. I hear people love the Fables. I hear. That's what I hear. Oh, he's done heaps of stuff before that, though. To be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair. Anyway, so that's good to see. Did anyone argue that Hideo Kojima doesn't deserve a BAFTA award?
No, those are the type of awards he definitely deserves. Anything that's like narrative related or looking at his actual writing chops is perfect.
And I also used this story to just add in a little, not as like a separate topic, but right before we started recording, there was a story going around that someone else that works at Kojima Productions or something like tweeted out something and the fucking notepad that says next week on it. They wrote on a notepad next week, and the tweet says, "Sorry to be silent. We'll let you know what we've been working on real soon," or something like that.
And then also the pencil.
Yes.
Has pyramid on it.
Yes. So the pencil has pyramid on it. So now people have gone, he wrote, "Sorry for being silent," pyramid on the pencil. Oh, Kojima's got a Silent Hill game somehow.
Is Norman Reedus finally going to be in Silent Hill? Is PT re-alive?
In what world would Konami give the license away for Silent Hill?
In what world would Hideo Kojima go back to Konami?
He wouldn't. That's what I'm saying.
Or what would he even even working with them? I don't see. That's just so.
This is one of those crazy tinfoil hat tweet stories.
I think it's going to be a swerve, right? Like they've done it on purpose to make you think that, to start rumors, and then it'll be something completely different and wacky and out there. We were supposed to understand what Death Stranding was by discussions about ladders and ropes and sticks.
Yeah,
now that we have the game, it makes complete sense, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it's fucking, he's a genius." But when we were listening to it, it was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well, all I don't know is if they do announce something next week miraculously, I'll be like, "How the fuck have you already started anything?" Chill out.
Well,
let's
he
take
was
a break.
Already writing after Death Stranding was released and everything. So.
I guess. Oh, yeah, he did tweet out. He's like, "Oh, time to start next project or something." I guess.
Yeah.
He's off the reins now. He's got his freedom and pump out 10 games a year now. Let's go. right, so for the topic of the show, we're just going to talk about Baldur's Gate. Well, we're going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 in particular. That's the title of the video game. So they revealed proper gameplay this week for the first time because they revealed it. When did they reveal it? Oh, Stadia event. No, that was it.
They did it at the Stadia event, and apparently they're going nuts about Stadia.
Stadia had an event?
The Stadia original, I stayed up to like 1 a.m. to watch that shit. It was a blast. You know, back in the day, like last year.
Oh. I thought you meant recently.
When they revealed, like, they did a Stadia Direct and they revealed all sorts of stuff. That's when they originally revealed Baldur's Gate 3 and that. And they were like, we're super excited for it. And yeah, they're in interviews at the, what are they called? Larian Entertainment. Yes?
Yes.
Double check. Yeah. And at the moment after this gameplay, they're still like, oh, Stadia is great. And I'm like, you're the only people. like,
you're doing it.
You're the
I hope
only
they're
people
playing you guys lots of money to believe that.
Yeah, you're the only people that really care about it. So I just want to get everyone's thoughts on if you've watched any gameplay and that sort of stuff first. And then Kieran has picked a discussion topic. So good job, Kieran.
Yeah, I know. Taking. I was like, I had a feeling today. I was like, you know what? Dylan is going to knock hosting out of the park. I'm going to, at some point, give him a little break from it and do a topic of my own.
Yeah.
You know, just
yeah. Right before we start recording, he's like, I can take the reins on that if you want. And I said, you fucking do that.
Dylan's like, hell to the yeah. Baldur's Gate.
But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. What are your general impressions, Kieran? What were you watching the gameplay, given the articles read? How's it been going?
I'm actually super excited for it. It looks far better than it deserves to look. Like, this game actually looks really good. I'm really excited for a game. There's always a worry with D&D titles because they're like, okay, it's going to be a game that just pretends to be Dungeons & Dragons, not a game that actually is Dungeons & Dragons and drawing from Dungeons & Dragons properly. But watching this, I think I sent this to a message to a friend. And my exact wording was, Baldur's Gate 3 reeks of Dungeons & Dragons, and I love it. It's just like everything in the game is still based on dice rolls, and there is the very realistic opportunity to die. Even the developer of the gameplay video died during the process of the actual showing just because he got some bad rolls and he just died from it. And that's the fun part of the game. And I know it's going to be hard for gamers to accept that there is a very RNG prospect to this game based off dice rolls, but it is how it plays, and it's really nice to see a game that actually fully takes on the creativity and the essence of Dungeons & Dragons properly, rather than games that say they are and then they're nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks really good. Like I tried out obviously Divinity. I never finished it, although I wish it's one thing I would like to magically find time to go back and dive into Divinity 2 and finish. The last game they did. And although that was obviously sort of D&D-ish inspired, it didn't have the full dice roll aspect of it. It was just more of a, what do you call it, like attack the...
It was more of just a turn-based, like tactics sort of game.
Whatever you call it. Fucking mental blanking on each other hard. But anyway, this looks just proper, like full-on D&D, which seems kind of fun because it means that I can try and play my way, which is that I'm going to put all my points possible or whatever skills into talking, and I'm going to try to never get into combat.
Yeah, exactly.
Never get into fucking combat. Yeah, because there's literally a point in the demo where they go up to a bunch of people. He tries to like talk out of it, fails a dice roll, and then has to do combat. And I'm like, not me. I'm going to make sure that if I roll a 1, I'm still going to pass. And that sounds like fun. Also, and then the other thing that kind of stands out watching the gameplay, because we'll talk about the combat in a second because that's kind of like what your thing's about. But the conversation choices all look really cool, and they also point out how detailed the character models are, which is kind of crazy. And in general, the world looks stunning. And that they've pretty much said in interviews, they're like, we couldn't run this shit on current gen consoles. Like it wouldn't work. And you can kind of tell by looking at it. It looks, all of the environments look really highly detailed. And when they go into the conversations with characters, I'm like, these are really highly detailed. Like, this isn't a weird, like, zoom in fucking Bethesda, like, hey, how are you? I'm a fucking wax model person happening over here with these conversation choices and whatever else. No, it looks really good. And because games like this sometimes fail that because it's a asymmetrical type thing, and then when they zoom into real close to a character, you're like, oh, we're not supposed to get that close for a reason. But this game's like, no, we're good. We got everything going. So Ash, what are your thoughts on this? Does this look like something? Does Baldur's Gate up your alley?
Maybe. I mean, it looks beautiful. Like you've said, it looks incredible for like this genre of game, I guess. Yeah, it'd be something I'd be willing to try out when PS5 eventually comes around. So I'm sure it's not going to work on anything else that I've got.
Even just, and I'll say this to everybody, that don't be dissuaded by the fact that it has a number 3 at the end of the title. Dylan and me were talking about this prior to the recording while we were waiting for somebody to get out of bed. But it's the fact that Dylan mentioned he doesn't really want to go back and play the other two because they are quite dated now and quite old. And it's the thing of, this won't be a sequel. This won't be anything that you have to have knowledge of the prior two to get to play. You'll be able to jump in and play it straight away and really get into it and get involved.
This seems like the jump from, to even more of an extreme, but from Grand Theft Auto 2 to Grand Theft Auto 3.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Yep. Because I remember when they announced this, I was like, oh, this looks great. Let me look. And I know that because they ported or whatever to Switch and wherever else, those ones. I'm like, oh, cool, maybe I'll play them. And I like look up what they look like. I'm like, nah, dude. I can't do that. I don't have it in me. Like, if I'd played them when I was younger, you get that whole thing where you're like, it doesn't matter. You know, like I can go play like old Final Fantasies and whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. I've played them before. It looks fine. I never played this game, so I'm like, nah, I can't do it. So talking about combat, so I'll read a little bit of this PC Gamer article here, of which inspired Kieran's discussion point. So I'll kick things off there. So it's titled, "It Sucks That Baldur's Gate 3 is Turn-Based." So the person writes, who wrote this? Where's this person? Andy Kelly. Good on you, Andy. Which flavor of RPG combat is best, turn-based or real-time with pause? It's a debate as old as time, and both have their defenders and detractors. Me, I'm all about real-time with pause. And when I heard Baldur's Gate 3 would be entirely turn-based, unlike the first two games, which use real-time, I admit I was a little disappointed. To some people, including several members of the PC Gamer team, pausable real-time combat is a work of the devil and basically indefensible, but I generally love it, and here's why. So they go on to talk about how they love stacking up a bunch of actions and being able to just pause and like being like, this person does this, attack this, all this, unpause, watch everything explode around them and blah, blah, blah. And that's like their counterpoint to turn-based, where it isn't as effective because you're like this, you know, it's a constant back forth is their whole argument. So Kieran, how do you feel?
So reading this article, I was really interested by it because as a regular D&D player, I'm very used to the turn-based thing. And to me, it's integral for being D&D to be that kind of turn-based, because if you're unfamiliar with Dungeons & Dragons, every round or every turn in D&D is within 6 seconds. And technically every round, everybody's turn is happening at the exact same moment. It's just based on who's a little bit quicker or who's reacted better. The problem is when they're doing these real-time pauses and moving everything, you're looking down at a moment and you're making changes based on what you want your character to do without knowing what the enemy is doing at the same time. And so that could be a bit sketchy, and there could be weird moments where things don't play out the way you want them to. Where the turn-based gives yourselves actions and then you can react to what the enemy is doing and so forth. But it makes me think that there was a time back in your PlayStation 1, your early PC games, where RPGs were very heavily turn-based. If you look back to the Final Fantasies, if you look at a lot of Japanese RPGs for the time, there was a lot of turn-based combat or mechanics used throughout that period of time. And we've come to a point where slowly more and more of those Japanese RPGs and other games that use those systems are turning away and going to something else and going to a more like this real-time strategy type style.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, or just Final Fantasy 15 that just kind of went more into just your Kingdom Hearts style, just normal base combat. And we had that weird transition period during Final Fantasy like 12 where it was just kind of awkwardly in between the two systems trying to figure out what it wanted to be. But it makes me think, what systems used to be really prevalent in the, that earlier periods of gaming that aren't so well off now or aren't so prevalent now because a lot of people do feel like that's dated gameplay. And is there still a place for them to be done if they're done correctly? So, for those, you don't see as many of those kind of platformers anymore that are more what you would call like hero based, like your, or the poster your Crash Bandicoots, your Jak and Daxters, your Spyros, your Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. You don't see those anymore as often. Where back in the mid to early 2000s, those were all over the place and consistently coming out. What do you think? Is there definitely some mechanics that are just a no-go for current generations, or is it all about knowing your audience and building correctly to that?
I think most people, when it comes to like JRPGs, turn-based stuff, I think Western, once you got to, I guess, around people start playing Elder Scrolls, Fallout, all that shit. People are like, oh, Western RPGs are cool. And suddenly turn-based JRPGs were like, I don't want to do this shit. I want Western RPGs. So that's when JRPGs started trying to adapt, and that's when you get Final Fantasy like 15 and whatever else. And I'm sure there's like a bunch of turn-based JRPGs that I just don't play. Like, there's like a whole heap of random.
Persona.
I've played
Persona's
that.
definitely.
I've played that.
Yep.
One. That's probably like your golden child for like what remains for turn-based RPGs at the moment. There are other things like
Fire Emblem.
Does it? That's not.
That's turn-based.
Yeah, but it's like a tactics game. It's not a.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the Bravely Default series, the Bravely series are all turn-based. Octopath Traveler was turn-based. Like there are small ones. Some of the Dragon Quests that come out, I don't know if the next one is going to suddenly change, but they're usually still all JRPGs, turn-based stuff. But I know by just reading comment sections and like talking to people that everyone doesn't like turn-based anymore for whatever reason. I think it's just too slow. It's too inactive, and people's brains, I think, start turning off. Like they want to be constantly engaged. I like JRPG. I mean, I'd like a nice mix. Obviously, I don't want the whole field swinging in one direction.
Yes, exactly.
And as much as I'm like, oh, Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Final Fantasy 15 or whatever, that action sort of stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is fun. But then I'm like, I also sort of wish the next Final Fantasy just came back to being turn based. Because I mean, that's what I grew up playing with. I guess all the old Final Fantasies and whatever else. But then when it comes to this article that we use in the spin-off lore and they're like complaining that it's turn-based, I'm like, well, that seems silly to me because it's based on D&D and they're trying to literally just recreate the way the game plays inside the video game. So that seems to make perfect sense. And also it just gives more of that what would you call like an XCOM? Is XCOM?
XCOM is
like
a
tactical RPG.
It's a tactical.
Yeah, but you have turns, right?
Tactical strategy.
Yeah, it's like
it's turn-based.
I can pull up the actual genre.
Like that's turn-based. I know it's not exactly the same as what we're talking about here with Baldur's Gate, but I'm still like it is it's a cross between because like with Baldur's Gate and these sorts of ones or whatever, it's not a JRPG. You click attack, whatever else. You got to make moves and you can move around the map or whatever, and that, like you've got certain actions you can create and what have you. But I'm still just like, isn't that sort of similar to like your XCOM type?
Yeah, it's your tactics. Like it's called a tactical strategy game. Is generally what they call, but it's very similar. It's just not. I think people just don't see those as turn-based games, even though they definitely are. It's just a different version of that, a different format of it, where it's not. you're not doing like the old style like the old style where it's like menus and like you have to go
attack, magic, skills.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not like that anymore, but it's still pretty similar. And I can see from what it shows in this, it's very much like that, where it's not you going to attack, it's you're choosing what you're doing. In the options of your combat, much like in D&D, you have the option to try and talk to things. Some things, it's a terrible idea to talk to. An evil brain creature is not going to want to talk to you. It's just want to eat you and devour your brain. But if you're fighting bandits, there's an opportunity for your charisma skill to be high enough to be like, "Yo, I'm a good, I'm a good hombre. Let me hang out with you and talk." And there is that feeling of doing it right in a way that's going to capture. And I think the problem is that there's just that stigmatism now that the moment somebody says turn-based, everybody goes, "Ew, turn-based, gross, yuck." And it's just the climate of games that we're in, where games like Fortnite are prevalent now, where that's what your general population of gamers is playing, is those types of games where they want quick, easy, digestible, short format games where you can get out and get back into another game quickly. It's harder and harder for people to invest time in. And then there's the other thing where it's like, well, looking back at some franchises that used to really revel in what they had, and they were very niche. Those things that used to be very niche are now very big. I scream out constantly for the Soul Reaver Legacy of Kain games to be brought back and Dylan fucking they're both shaking their head. But it's like these games are like fit for like your open world action adventure games. Like these are just fit for it. It's just so good. It's so rich in lore and characters, and it's just like gah. So it's just interesting that there's just those game styles that are just trapped in that nostalgic feeling, but like the negative version of nostalgia rather than the positive version that ends up ruining characters and wrestlers. Not looking at anybody in particular.
I don't know. I feel like everything has a niche now. The gaming market is so huge that everybody can have their own place. You talked about platformers not being a thing anymore, yet we've had Shovel Knight, Ori's Blind Forest, we've had Hollow Knight, a bunch of different platformers over the last couple of years, all these turn-based games, all sorts of stuff. So I think everything has a place and nothing is truly dead. Even like strategy games, which nobody ever talks about, they've still got their niche. They seem to constantly be able to be played.
We don't talk about them, but people out there that are
no, like hardcore,
that
like Age of Empires-esque.
People live on
like
Total War.
There's still those. Like Civ gets released every couple of years and stuff like that.
I mean, if if airplane simulator games can survive,
are you taking a shot at Nick? Are you?
No,
actually
I'm saying
taking
if
a
people
shot
like
at
Nick
right now
can support, if there are enough people like Nick that can support a bunch of different airplane simulators to survive and like keep their companies running.
Flight simulators.
Flight simulators. That's probably a better term.
Airplane flight games.
Clearly, there is space for everything.
Dear Lord. Which one do you prefer then, Ash?
Probably turn-based because I can think. I mean, like I don't think I've played like the way he describes it, like the make turns and pause. The only one I can think of is like KOTOR, like Knights of the Old Republic.
Did you ever have Did you ever play or use? It was a feature you could use in the Dragon Age series. Okay.
That's how you play. If you played on anything but normal mode, you basically had to play those games that way, or else you'd just get swamped. But yeah. So the hardcore people play Dragon Age.
The hardcore Dragon Age fans and players, and those Iron Bull fans, you know.
Yeah, that's how you play it. Most people don't fuck this shit. I mean, half the game.
I'd say the people that ship Iron Bull, you can't. I don't understand you. I'm sorry. It's a whole different topic.
There's a whole different. People are like, who the fuck's Iron Bull?
Iron Bull. Look him up. People love him. It's like, why? He's a douche.
What are you voting on then, Kieran?
I still love, like, I guess it has its place, but I think turn-based strategy, as long as you do it correctly and you're giving it love and attention and you're not being like, hey guys, we're turn-based, but we're pretending to be something else, or we're not accepting that we're turn-based, accept the mechanical system that you're picking and just acknowledge that, okay, there's going to be people that don't like this, that are going to comment in the YouTube comment section or in your IGN comics. But just get over it and just let the people that care buy your game and support you. And just fully embrace what you're doing.
Give me Yakuza Like a Dragon already.
I didn't know, Ash. It came out like months ago. You know,
I know, but I can't read Japanese. So
well, that's your
I'm
fault.
not Dash Gamer.
Also, Yakuza coming to Xbox. What's up, Yakuza fans?
Just import that. Just import it and just play it and just make up the plot yourself.
Hold up Google Translate on my phone the entire time.
The entire time.
Just build like a frame that like perfectly puts your phone in perspective to read the subtitles around your TV. You know.
And with that, that'll be the end of the show for this week. What an episode it's been, everyone. I'm glad you've all hung out with us. It's been a great time. I've enjoyed having you listening to us. And thank you, Ash. Thank you, Kieran, for stopping by for this lovely morning jog through the park that is Arcade Couch. You can find us all on Twitter by heading to explosionhelp.com. Fuck the question of the week. The show, I don't know. Who cares? Did you like the show? I don't want to know. Let us. You can find us here next week though. We'll be here talking about things. Same time, same couch. GDC is probably going to be cancelled as we're recording this.
It is
that's
cancelled.
the thing that's happening. Oh, there you go.
Postponed.
Officially,
it's been postponed.
Cancelled. So we won't be talking
postponed.
We won't postpone till next year, motherfucker. We will not be talking about GDC news next week
until they cure coronavirus.
If they cure the coronavirus, we will talk about curing the coronavirus next week. We'll see you there, hopefully with a cure.
Look, Dylan, now the show's over, I just really want to say you've done a fantastic job of hosting today. Like, you've done the best job. Like, you've been focused, you've been on the ball, you've just really known how to close and start topics. It is inspirational.
I know, it seems like usual.
Hey, don't forget you can subscribe to the show wherever you're currently listening, and you can drop a review if you can. Find more great shows like this and more content over at explosionnetwork.com, and please consider supporting us for as little as $1 over on our Ko-fi page by heading to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thanks for listening.